Welcome back to the channel. Our first train here is 16R with 3 EMDs. The second unit is an SD70M-2. These units are becoming rare as Norfolk Southern keeps rebuilding them. But take a note of that lead engine that was leading that train. That was an SD60E, and every train on the D&H seems to have one that are bound for Massachusetts. Well, sometimes those 60Es tend not to work, or there's another reason why they can't lead the train. In this case, a Gevo came to save both incidences where we caught something rather than an SD60E leading. First question, what is a Gevo? A Gevo is General Electric's GE Evolution series, hence the nickname Gevo. Gevos were first produced in the early 2000s, around 2005, and they were made to replace GE's successful AC4400CW and Dash 944 CWs. NS has 3 models of Gevos on their roster, including the ES44DC, which this 7518 leading this 265 is an ES44DC, and ES44AC, which is an AC counterpart to the DC traction motor ES44DC, and the ET44AC. The ET44AC is just a Tier 4 of the ES44AC. Tier 4 is emission standards. Around most of the country, on Class 1 railroads, it's pretty rare not to see a Gevo on a mainline freight train because they're so common, with 8,159 produced around the country and running. With even some of them going overseas, like to countries like China. I don't know what the power was for this train, but he had wrecked well cars on flats. It can be a common sight around the country, but for here, it's kind of rare. Not sure what wreck or repairs these well cars were in or needed. This next train has the common locomotive leading on the D&H. This train had SD60E number 6945 on the point of this train. SD60Es are so common on this line you could basically see them every day, unlike other parts of the NS system. But why are the SD60Es so common? Well, these trains that are bound for Massachusetts, the tracks are not all owned by Norfolk Southern. The line has to go on former Pan Am trackage, now Berkshire and Eastern trackage, and MBTA trackage. They require a special PTC system, and the only locomotives that can fit this special PTC system are the SD60Es, with a rear box or a very large box in between the rear truck and the fuel tank. And since they're the only locomotives that can fit these special boxes, they are the only locomotives allowed to lead on the Massachusetts trains, and which carries over to the D&H itself. This train was at a crawl as due to a speed limit or a speed zone at milepost 579. This next train also had another 60E. This train was headed up by NSST-60 6957, and yes, the 6957 is equipped with the PTC. Trailing behind the 6957 was WFRX ST70 Mac 8877, a former BNSF Mac that WFRX required. And Norfolk Southern is leasing out this same ST70 Mac, and trailing behind that is an ST70 Ace. This train here is NS30T, and he doesn't have an SD60. Why? Well, because he's not a Massachusetts train. He goes from Canada to Binghamton, New York, hence no SD60. But this train also has no Gevo in it, another rare sight. 2 -9s, an AC44 C6M, an SD78 CE, and another -944 CW. Remember, Gevos are upgraded from the -944 CW. This train has 3 -9s, 5 if you count the 2 rebuilt ones being AC44 C6Ms. One of these locomotives was leaking something onto the ground. I'm not sure what it is, but I know this train had stopped before it had came down here. It picked up extra locomotives. Maybe one of those locomotives had a problem and were hooked up onto this train. Not sure what was leaking from the engine, whether it was fuel, water, or something else, but that was not a common sight at all. Hence why I put those pictures up. 30T, as I said, is out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and is bound for Binghamton, New York. A key commodity to this train is lumber for the housing industry. Another key commodity is paper. Paper, paper, paper. It all heads down to Pennsylvania. Couple days later, a Massachusetts train required a Gevo to lead it. Yes, another Gevo was leading this one, with the SD60 trailing third of 3. The lead unit is NS-ET44AC number 3623. Remember, the ET44AC is just a Tier 4 variant of the popular ES44AC model. NS owns a total of 81 ET-44ACs on their roster, and those are counting the wreck victims. The ET-44ACs are numbered 3600 to 3680. As far as their ES-44ACs, they roster a total 185 of those, more than 100 more than ET-44AC. And the most Gevos they have on their roster is the ES-44DC. Those have 220 on the roster, numbered 7500 to 7719. And as this 265 with its Gevo leader heads to Chicago, that's it for us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around the bend. We'll catch you next time. Oh, and God bless.